Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. I really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their day to jump on. Before we get kicked off, just from a housekeeping perspective, as we run through today, if you have any questions, and we'd encourage you to kind of submit as many questions as you have as we go through, please make sure to put them in the Q&A section in Zoom so we can make sure we get to them at the end. My name is Daniel McGlade. Yes, I'm Irish, so I will do my best to speak as slowly as possible. And I'm the Chief Product Officer at Ceros. I'm a tech enthusiast and a big believer in sharing early and often. So some of what I will speak to today will be future-facing. Some of it will be my opinion or observations based upon facts that I have available to me today. It doesn't mean that I'm right, but hopefully it can provide you all with some insight into how we view the rapidly evolving market and what that means for Ceros. So that's the health warning out of the way for today's session. There is a lot to cover today, and I'm so pleased to see such a high turnout. But before we get stuck into the main agenda, where we're going to focus upon product, both in terms of what we've delivered so far, what we're going to be doing towards the end of 2024, and then into 2025, I want to hand over to our CEO, Alison. Alison.
Thanks, Daniel. Great to see everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Alison Engel. I've been the CEO of Ceros for just 5 months. I've had a long journey with Ceros before joining the company. I was on the board for a number of years and partnered really closely with our founder and former CEO, Simon Berg. It has been an awesome journey so far. And for me, I've been around tech and marketing and innovation for the last 20 years. And that's really what led me to this part of my journey, to this exceptional team and really unique company. Before Ceros, I was the first CMO at Stripe. And before that, I was at LinkedIn in the early days, 2011, and helped build the marketing solutions, products, and advertising business. All of these experiences, really kind of compound into the work we're doing here at Ceros, where we are totally obsessed with creating value for your businesses, bringing your brands to life, helping you tell your stories in unique ways and connect in audiences where you can do that with us in ways that you can't do anywhere else. And that is our promise, to bring you something really differentiated in value and be long-lasting partners. And the partnership with us means everything. Our goals are totally aligned. We have creativity in our DNA. And now we're really doubling down on the experience and what's possible building with us. So thanks for taking part of your Thursday. Time is precious. We appreciate it. And I will turn it back to Daniel to jump into the content. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Alison. So to get us started today, I want to touch upon our product North Star that we are using to help us stay focused on our mission. We want to empower our users, that's you, to create and launch high quality premium content as efficiently as possible. It sounds really simple, but as you will all know, delivering on the simple things can be by far the most difficult. It requires focus and sacrifice. So as we look at our progress this year, the roadmap through to the end of 2024, and our thoughts on 2025, this North Star will be at the forefront of our minds. In May this year, we carried out a review of the business and the product to consider whether we were delivering on this North Star. And though there is always room for improvement and innovation, we identified 2 main themes of focus to take us to the end of 2024. Those themes were ensuring quality reflective of a premium product, which speaks to the core fundamentals of the platform: performance, stability, and consistency. And then improving the core user experience, the key word here being efficiency in creation. So to jump into these, on quality reflective of a premium product, we have already made quite a bit of progress since May. These tiles on screen reflect some of the major improvements, with those in green already completed and the remainder slated to be completed this year. There are many smaller wins beyond this list, but we wanted to call out a few specific items that are worth note. So first, let's talk about performance. Over the past 2 quarters, we've allocated an entire engineering team whose sole focus has been on improving the core performance of the platform. And they have made some big wins. I've already received feedback from many of you on this call, actually, that the core platform feels more stable and more performant, which I am delighted to hear. Of particular note is the impact upon larger experiences, which many of you will have created. With these larger experiences made up of many pages and components, the complexity is multiplied, and therefore performance slowdowns are most notable. So the team have reworked some fundamentals of the platform that now allow for larger experiences that were previously taking up to 20 seconds to load to take under 2 seconds. That's 10x improvement. This improvement is already across many accounts and has been rolled out to the remainder over the next few weeks. Among the many smaller performance improvements being made, and there's been over 60 in the past quarter, there has been some major improvements to the Figma import, as we know this is a core starting point for much of the content created in Ceros. Our commitment to improving performance, stability, and consistency is not a short-term win or a short-term project. Though we have made major strides forward, we will continue to invest in this area going forward. Something else that I'm really excited to touch upon that I know many of you will be interested in is our Getty integration. Our current Getty integration is at best limited, only allowing users to subscribe to the Getty stock library. This is not good enough. So I am pleased to announce that in Q4, we'll be launching an improved Getty integration that will allow those of you with your own Getty libraries to authenticate and bring those libraries through to Ceros. We believe this is a major improvement to the platform and will dramatically improve the user experience for those of you with a Getty library. Early access will be starting in Q4. Please reach out to your CSM to register interest, but this is only the beginning. As I will talk to you later, going forward, we want to connect Ceros to your content, to your tools, to your workflow. So we are already exploring integrations with other libraries and digital asset management solutions. So I've spoken to some of the improvements that we have made and the fundamentals of the platform. But now let's talk about how we're improving the core user experience with a specific focus upon efficiency. Here again, we've made some major strides forward since May this year, with a laser focus on how we can drive efficiency in creation. We are in an efficiency economy where we all must do more with less. And I'm sure you're all feeling the squeeze upon creative resource, and it is greater than ever. However, the competition for attention, the need to stand out, and the demand for premium content that does this is also greater than ever. Therefore, this is at the forefront of our minds. How can we help our users be more efficient and scale their efforts and their resource? So let's talk about a few of these improvements. We recently launched the first version of the asset library that makes it easy for users to save pre-built assets, whether it be images, interactive components, blocks of text, really anything, and reuse them across other experiences. This means that you can effectively build new experiences or improve your existing experiences using the building blocks from other existing Ceros content. This is a feature we have big plans for, and today we're launching the next update, introducing categories to the asset library to allow users to organize their saved assets. But beyond categories, I can also share that later in Q4, we will also be introducing a Ceros curated asset library. Within Ceros, we have some of the best designers in the world, pushing the boundaries of our platform, creating highly interactive experiences. We want to take these experiences and make the building blocks available to all of you, so that you and your teams can quickly level up your existing content using interactive components which have already been created by our team. I am excited about the asset library, which will drive major efficiencies for the designers in the room. But I am equally as excited about the impact for the non-designer. That's me, as a mechanism to help get my content to the next level with minimum design resource. Speaking of getting content to the next level, let's talk about AI. AI has the potential to drive major efficiencies in content creation. And we've been experimenting with AI in Studio for the last few months. Some of you will have already had early access to the feature, and we've had some great feedback, which has allowed us to refine our approach. Today, AI for text generation and editing, along with image generation, moves to general access for those of you with AI features enabled. I'll talk about AI later in the presentation, but for now, I want to call out that, like many big tech companies, we're viewing AI as a feature of our existing product rather than a product itself. This brings focus and allows us to align the value brought by AI with the value experienced by our customers. We're moving beyond the promise of future value that AI can bring and instead focusing upon the actual value it can bring today. What we discovered in the early testing of AI in Studio is that to really allow people to experience the value of AI when creating content, we actually had to rethink the UX of Studio and introduce a new way to interact with these functions. So today, we're also releasing the contextual toolbar. So I cannot overstate the impact of this seemingly small improvement to the user experience. Now, whilst in Studio, when you select a component, a toolbar will appear at the top of the screen, where the most common actions associated with this type of component will appear. But beyond this, we have also used the new menu to surface powerful functions from our newest feature developments, including adding to asset library and AI features. So, as you can see on screen, you simply click the component, let's say the text box, and you will see the AI features associated with that component. So in the case of text, the ability to translate, shorten text, lengthen, change tone, check grammar, or write a custom prompt. We have big plans to further customize and develop the toolbar actions early next year, but I am really excited to see the impact for our users, and it's probably the most used feature from my perspective in testing over the course of the past few weeks. Okay, so I hope everybody's still with me. But next up, starting from a blank page is never easy. In fact, we find it is often the biggest hurdle to getting our customers started with Ceros. So we're working to make it a bit easier to get your existing content into Ceros regardless of format. We're starting with PDF and expect it to progress quickly to PowerPoint. This will allow you to pull in your existing flat content and start to build it out with interactive components, lowering the barriers to creating exceptional content, particularly for those of you with limited design resources to completely rework your content. We plan to move to beta in Q4, so if you'd like to be part of the beta, please reach out to your CSM. So that gives you an insight into what we've been working on since May, and also some of the bigger items that we're working on towards the end of this year. I also want to call out that last quarter, we launched our public roadmap, and we've had great engagement from the wider Ceros community. The roadmap will be updated after today's session, and I will encourage all of you to review it. And if there is something not on there, please submit your ideas. We want to hear from you. There's no idea too large. There's no idea too small. Now, I would like to move ahead to talk about 2025, to give you all an insight into what we're exploring and the general principles or beliefs that are helping to frame our longer-term strategy. A large part of the reason for sharing the public roadmap and doing this session, and we plan to do many more, is to provide you all with an insight into how we think about our product and our approach to a changing market, so that you can have both clarity and confidence in our strategic direction. So I don't want to shy away from some of the larger ticket items that I know many of you will be thinking about. From fully responsive content to branding, improved SEO, and accessible content that is WCAG 2.2 compliant. None of these are easy solves, but we've already begun investigating each as we see them as major unlocks to all of our users. In 2025, we'll be making some major upgrades to the platform to allow us to push the boundaries of what can be created in Ceros, whilst overcoming many of the strategic hurdles that have historically been blockers to our users creating more content in Ceros. I can't share more today, but stay tuned for further updates in early 2025. I'm really excited about it, and I know it'll make a big difference. In the meantime, however, I want to help frame our view of the content market for the next 18 months and what it means for Ceros. So we believe in the importance of premium content. I know, no surprises there, right? Of course, we're going to say that. But let's look at the evidence. There's more content than ever flooding the web. AI-generated content, or slop, as it has been coined, has made standing out and grabbing the attention of the customer more difficult and yet more important than ever. It's a really difficult place to be. Alongside this, I know that many of you will also be considering the future of SEO. What AI search agents mean for discoverability. I mean, calling out my opinion, my own 2 cents on this, I think we're starting to see a trend within the market, with many companies moving up funnel away from high intent, high cost channels and techniques such as SEO and more towards targeted, often localized brand awareness. Therefore, as important as what you say is the medium in which you say it. It is a direct reflection of your brand. Every interaction with a prospect or customer is important. Every touch point matters. It is an opportunity to engage and an opportunity to convert. Ceros content does more than just engage. At its best, Ceros experiences inspire, taking complex messages and translating them into something instantly consumable, allowing your prospects and customers to really connect with your brand at a deeper level. Our goal is to help elevate your content to this bar and make it as efficient as possible for you to create this premium content. Therefore, it will also come as no surprise that we believe in the importance of inspiration. We'll be investing heavily in inspiration in 2025, leading the way in terms of what can be created within Ceros. We'll be building out a new library of Inspire templates to really show what can be created in Ceros in 2025, with the technological advancements planned for next year. But alongside this, with the introduction of the asset library that I spoke of earlier, we'll be finding new ways to surface this inspiration in product so that you and your teams can easily make use of any content created. Next up, I know many of you will have been saying this for a long time, but we believe the future is integrated, and it is a core pillar of our product strategy moving into 2025. There are so many opportunities for the value of Ceros experiences to be multiplied by integrating with other products within the content workflow. From DAM solutions to data, from CRM to CMS. This means not only prioritizing integrations built by our team, such as the Getty integration, but also putting in place infrastructure so that our customers can build their own integrations with an open API and clear developer documentation. This is an ambitious goal, and we're establishing a team to work toward this goal by the end of 2025. This next one is perhaps a bit more forward-thinking, but I think it's worthwhile to discuss trends in the market. Building upon the theme of heightened competition for attention and the need to stand out, I think it is reasonable to predict that over the next 12 to 18 months, content is going to be more personalized and more dynamic at scale. You can already see the beginning of this in the AI space, with upstarts offering solutions which create content that dynamically changes and is personalized to the viewer. So a marketer from Austin viewing a piece of content views a different variant of the same page to an engineer based in London. Importantly, this variant is created automatically and instantly. I think innovation like this poses a huge number of questions for our industry, but I'm also really excited about what this means for Ceros content. The idea of pairing premium content with mechanisms to aid in the dynamic creation of variants and personalization is hugely exciting and could massively scale the value of content created in Ceros. But it is also early. So I would say we're at least 12 months out from this becoming something really tangible that consistently delivers. And note that word, right? Consistency. That's not something that's been associated with AI over the course of the past 12 months, but that is changing. We believe that AI will drive major efficiencies across all industries, not just the creative space, but it will take time to get those consistent results. AI has been going through a typical hype cycle associated with any new product or innovation over the course of the past 18 months. You may have noticed a few AI tools that have massively overpromised and then predictably underdelivered. Honestly, it's not just a few products, it's almost the entire industry. but things are changing. There have been several products in the past few months that are really beginning to actually deliver upon their promises, and this trend will continue. AI will gradually start to become a core part of almost every software product over the next 18 months, and the results will become reliable, consistent, and powerful. AI has the potential to be an enormous efficiency driver, particularly when viewed as a feature within an existing product, helping to automate the mundane, repetitive tasks that take time away from the valuable, novel, creative work. I'm sure that many of you will either have been at or have seen HubSpot's inbound event last week. There were some great talks, but I strongly recommend the talk by Dean Vez. Definitely pronounced that wrong, but we'll share the link to the talk following the webinar. He's the head of strategic marketing at OpenAI, and in his talk, he discusses his view on what the future of AI-first marketing looks like. I'd strongly recommend it. It provides some fascinating insights, including an attempted demo of Sora, their generative video engine. Now, I will say the demo failed due to Wi-Fi issues, okay, live demo, all the risks that are attached. But I think it's reasonable to expect that high quality AI video generation will become widely available in 2025. And that really disrupts another industry, so it's worth considering. We'll be investing heavily in AI as we move into 2025 through the lens of delivering value to our customers within our existing product. A feature of our existing product that can drive efficiencies and help to unlock creativity. AI is part of that. And to take us back to the beginning of this presentation and the beginning of this discussion, whether it be AI or some new technical innovation, we will continue to stay grounded and focused upon delivering our product North Star, empowering our users to create and launch high quality premium content as efficiently as possible. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. I cannot tell you how much it means to have an engaged community who care about our product as much as we do. As product builders, we go through a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, a lot of late nights. But it is worth it because there is something special, something magical in creating a product that others can use to create awe-inspiring content. Every piece of content that you and your team create feel like something that we have helped with. So thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing what we can create together in the future. So at this stage, I want to open up the floor to any questions that might have been asked. I hope there's been several, and I will do my best to give an answer. And if it's an opinion, I will call it out that it's an opinion. I don't have all the answers, but hopefully it will be worthwhile. Questions?
All right, we do have a few in the Q&A chat if we want to start by answering some of those.
Yeah, I can jump in. I can jump in and answer some of these questions in the background. So from on the AI side of things, in terms of the models that we use in the background, so on the tech side of things, we use OpenAI, and we have an enterprise license with OpenAI, so they don't train on any of the data that goes back or forth when it comes to our text generation. And on the image generation stuff, we use Flux, which is a newer model, that has produced some like astounding results when it comes to image generation. I mean, really astounding. So those of you that have access to AI features, like try it. Like where AI used to really have problems with like faces and fingers, that's not a problem anymore, which is like amazing given the short time frame. The other thing worth calling out actually around AI features is that the way that we have architected the platform and our ability to use AI is designed to allow us to be able to move between models really, really easily, because almost every day there is a change, there is a more competitive model that comes out, and that we view that as a real opportunity to help our customers up-level their content. So that's one of the things that we're doing that's how we're approaching AI. And seeing actually a follow-up question about other AI features, which is a really good question. It's something I'm thinking about an awful lot at the moment. In the very short term, simple things like we want to allow for, we have image generation. We want image replacement, so you can replace existing images to allow you to take existing content or templates and start to change them very rapidly. But I think there's a lot more that can be done. I'm really interested whenever you pair AI with some of the data that we might get through other integrations, particularly when it comes to looking at ABM solutions and data enrichment there, being able to customize messaging for viewers and the tone of voice, etc., depending upon that persona. So I think there's an awful lot that we can do there from an AI piece. PDF and PowerPoint upload feature will be available to all users, and it'll be going to beta in Q4 and then hopefully moving to GA before the end of the year. So yes, please reach out to your CSM. They'll be able to get you access to it when it goes to beta, I think within the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Are we working towards 2.2? Yes, we are. A big part actually of reaching that 2.2 standard is actually tied to creating responsive content. It's to do with reflow, and that's a big goal for us in next year, is actually to move the platform forward, and it will take an awful lot of work and some big strategic changes to how the platform works and to support responsive content. I have been on several calls with many of our customers, and I know there's a lot of pain with having to recreate experiences for specific mobile variants, and it can sometimes double or triple the work that's involved. And we want to move away from that actually and allow our customers to create responsive content where we take away that workload. Now, that's not to say we won't get rid of specific mobile variants. There are instances where you want to create a very specific experience for mobile that will be very different inherently to the desktop version, but we want to move to a world where we can offer that option, and that's not something that's currently possible. Any questions? Yes, we are looking at the ability to export experiences. That's actually something that we're exploring in Q4, is the ability to export experiences in PDF. Yeah, I know that's been requested by a number of customers, so I'm quite excited to get that out in Q4. Yes. Yeah, it's something we're really aware of. So the question is specifically around embedded experience and making them more suitable for CMS platforms, and also dealing with SEO issues that might arise. Yeah, it's something that actually we're also looking at in terms of short-term wins coming into Q4. And also we have some larger call-outs that we're looking to do in the next year. And we do actually have some kind of solutions that you can use in the short term. So I'd recommend reaching out to your CSM or to support, and they can help guide you through some of that educate material.
It looks like there's another question in the chat, Daniel, about are we considering other integrations with other stock companies like Adobe Stock?
Yes. Yeah, and Alison, you can maybe speak to this as well, but there's a big change in kind of strategy at the company in that we want to become really tightly integrated into your content workflow. And actually digital asset management solutions for us are a no-brainer. And we really want to push hard to start to introduce integrations with those solutions, whether it be the likes of Binder or Brandfolder and many of the other providers early next year. So it's very much on our radar. Part of that is also not just doing the work to have those formal integrations, but we also want to create a scalable solution that allows our customers to build their own integrations, because we realize we can't build every integration there could possibly be, but by providing the mechanism, we can allow customers to start to build their own custom integrations to their own products.
Yeah, it's an important shift in direction for us to really think about what is the workflow all of you, right, are investing in to get great content out on the web and have it perform in the way that aligned to your values and your outcomes. And so this will be a key point of feedback. Obviously, we're operating in a pretty vast landscape. I'm sure many of you have, a lot of companies that are in your marketing tech stack. And so we want to be thoughtful about it to make sure we're aligning in the highest value way. So more to come, but integrations and partnerships are a real pillar for us in this coming year and will be forever.
There's another question sort of related to our PDF and PowerPoint imports. There's also a question around exporting PDF and GIFs, if we're going to be doing that.
Yes, we'll be, and that's one of the things we're looking at is the ability for Q4 is the ability to export as a PDF. I don't think GIFs on the radar for Q4, but I think PDF is a priority, something we want to ship before the end of the year. I think there's a question from Rob about the Getty integration. Would all our users have access, or would we be able to choose? For the first version, Rob, I think it's account wide, so it'll be available to everybody within your account.
Daniel, there's a question, what's the Ceros team most excited about in terms of the future of the product?
Ooh. Well, I'll give a boring answer. I think there is. So I think our customers can already create like exceptional content, but my big drive at the minute, as you may have gleaned hopefully from the presentation, is around efficiency. I think that we can help our customers get to that level of premium content in a fifth of the time, maybe even less, which then leaves more time for pushing the boundaries of what's possible from a content creation perspective. I could say that I get excited, and I think there's lots of opportunities around AI or around specific features, but it's all driving towards the same goal, which is ultimately giving people more time back to be able to push the boundaries of what truly creative content is. And that's what I'm really excited to see is when we push these things forward, when we get these efficiencies in the product and improve some of the functionality, what does that allow our customers create? Like one of the reasons why I joined Ceros and got me so excited about the company was actually not the product, but what our customers could create with the product. Our product is just a conduit to allow you and all of you on the call and your teams to create amazing content. So seeing more and more innovative content is kind of what gets me excited, I know.
So one more, one of the biggest challenges in redesigning for mobile and tablet after creating a desktop version, is that going to be addressed?
Yeah, it is. So that's one of the things I mentioned. So there's a short-term and a long-term plan on that. So in the short term, there's a number of improvements in Q4, specifically around syncing and trying to make that as painless as possible and helping with kind of the generation of the mobile variant. From a longer-term perspective, I mentioned earlier, we want to commit to moving towards the creation of responsive content, so you don't have to design for each variant independently. That actually you just create one responsive variant that changes depending upon the size of the device that you're using. And so that's kind of more of an aspirational goal that we want to commit to in 2025. But the kind of there's a few steps to get us there.
Latest question about bulk actions.
That's a good question. Yes, bulk actions is something that we've been looking at. Actually, it's actually one of the things we're considering for early 2025. I get the pain around bulk actions. Jen, one of our directors of product, I was messaging her earlier today, literally about this exact thing. With text and with AI text generation and text editing, you can edit individual text boxes. I really want to select all the text boxes and then be able to update them or give AI some context around what I want to update. And I can see that it's painful for our customers. Like whenever I'm on calls and I can see that there's been a change to brand and you have to go through every text box and update the brand style, you have to update the fonts, etc. So I know it is a really time-consuming thing for everybody. So it's one of the things when we look at branding, and I mentioned this earlier, branding is one of the things that we constantly hear. Okay, so the ability to update brand consistently at scale, the ability to control brand, it's very much the space that we want to operate within. So that's very much something we're looking to the next year.
All right, a couple more questions rolling in. Will you add bug fixes to the roadmap? If not, will there be communication with customers around bug fixes?
I love that question. That's a great question because I would really like to put bug fixes on the roadmap, right? Typical logic would be don't call it bug fixes because you're admitting there's a problem in the first place. But I have no problem admitting that there are bugs. There's bugs in any platform that you use. And actually, it's more important that we communicate the bug fixes that we make as we make them so you all can receive the benefit. So yeah, I actually would like to do that because there's a lot of bugs that we have been fixing, like over the course of the past, almost 2 quarters, there's been over 100 bugs fixed within the platform. So it's not a small number. But that's because we are rifling through and focusing upon improving the customer experience. So yes, it is something actually we will look at, particularly for larger bugs or things that we think will really be impactful. The other thing that we're doing is that we're connecting our back end services in a much more efficient way. So it means anytime any of you report any of those bugs, you should be being notified whenever we're addressing them from a product perspective as well, and getting direct reach outs from either support or from your CSM.
All right, we've got a question or two around Figma. Will there be any focus on better integrations importing from Figma?
Yeah, so we have literally just gone through a period of making several improvements to the Figma import mechanism. It's not I don't see that as a one and done as such. There's going to be continual improvements needed there, and that's something we want to commit to over time. There are limitations I will call out with the Figma import, because to get a direct like for like import, we would have to match a lot of the features that in Figma, but a lot of those features don't correlate back into Ceros and how Ceros works. So there are limitations, but we are constantly trying to drive forward improving that import mechanism.
Cool. One more about PDF exports. Is it going to be possible to retain links and I guess other elements that might appear in PDFs?
Oh, that is a good question. It's actually going through a developer pipeline right now, and there's some really good progress being made. Expect to see the next version in the next couple of weeks. At this stage, actually, I don't know. I don't want to commit one way or the other because I'm not 100% sure, but we'll come back to you and let you know. I think from the work that I was looking at originally, I think it might be possible, but I'll need to double check.
Any chance of getting version control in the studio, or at least being able to see what undo and redo are doing?
That's a good call out. Yeah, that is actually a really good call out. It's not something I'd actually considered surfacing within the studio. More so, like 6 months ago, I don't think we had undo redo. That's something that we pushed hard for and is now in the platform. But finding a way to better surface that within the platform is probably a good call out. I don't think there's any reason why. Yeah, I think it's probably reasonable to expect that we could introduce kind of a notifications feed or activity log to show the changes that have been made. There is more complexity when it comes to full versioning and being able to reverse back to a previous version. It is something that I've been in conversations with our CTO about, because it is something that would be, I think, be really impactful. But it's not something currently on the roadmap.
All right, couple more rolling into the chat. This is a good studio question. Can the right panel be wider to see items that are nested in deeper folders when editing animations?
Jen and Jason, I'm looking to you. I don't think it can right now, but
Not currently, no.
that's a reasonable call out, right? I'm just thinking that's still a use case. It can't at the minute, but it's a really good call out actually. Yeah, it's a really good call out. No, so not currently. Valerie, but that's a really good call out. It's something we should look at.
Kind of one relating to creative capabilities. Will there be any animation updates, new animations, more controller animations, animations linked to Stroll, etc.?
Yeah, so 2025, 100%. That's one of the things we want to really push towards, because it's not just about. It's interesting. I had this conversation with somebody recently. It's not just about driving efficiency. It's about driving efficiency in getting to that premium output, and we need to constantly provide kind of new capabilities to continuously push the bar forward in terms of what that premium output can be. And part of that is the animations that are available, the control over those animations. So yes, in 2025, one of the areas that we're looking at is actually looking at how we can introduce kind of additional libraries for new animations and new effects that can be applied across experiences.
Great. A bug question. Are we prioritizing fixing the issue where you can't see everything in the right-click menu on smaller screens? I think especially small laptop screens, that menu can get cut off.
I think so, but I will ask Jen, who's on the call.
Yeah, that's part of the list that we have to tackle for Q4, our bug list in Q4.
Excellent. Mary, the beta testing for PDF and PowerPoint probably start at towards the end of October, start of November, and we're just working through that pipeline at the minute. I want to get it consistently producing the results that we need. Callie, I see your question about you running into some lag issues when there have been new additions to the platform. Yeah, I think two things: that we don't want there to be any detrimental impact to the platform or performance of the platform whenever we add new features. So if you're running into any of those issues, don't hold back, escalate it to support as quickly as possible. One of the things that we've done over the course of the past quarter is that we have elevated the importance of being ultra responsive to customers and resolving any performance issues and bugs that are experienced along the way. So if you run into anything, make sure, don't hesitate at all. I've done this myself in other products too. Don't assume that if something isn't working or doesn't feel kind of logical, that it's because you're not using the tool properly or something. Just assume that the platform is not doing it correctly and that you need assistance. Because even if the platform is performing correctly, but there's been a misunderstanding, that helps us understand UX impediments in terms of getting you to the value. So just don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want to be ultra supportive.
Yes, I think there's one that came in the chat around undo when multiple people are in the studio and not accidentally undoing someone else's work. So around kind of improving our undo functionality so it is person specific.
Yeah, that's something that we are looking at actually into 2025, looking at that logic in terms of that the real-time ability to edit stuff and have multiple people in the canvas at the same time. I know it can be really frustrating. We're also looking at elevating the collaborative features within the product. So at the minute, hopefully you all know, but you can have multiple people in the canvas editing and working together at the same time. I don't think we do a great job of elevating that, both in terms of delivery of that feature, but also even just from a UX perspective and being able to see that others are in the canvas and what they're doing. So that's one of the things we want to look at, is trying to elevate and really improve the collaborative experience of working on content. Because even internally, when we are creating content, whenever I'm creating this deck that you've all seen today, I will be working with Jack, one of our designers, collaboratively in the deck together. We'll maybe involve a couple of product owners. So it is a real collaborative effort. And actually, a lot of the highest quality content created is a collaborative effort. So we want to do everything possible to kind of make that collaboration as easy as possible. So yeah, it's something that we're looking at into next year.
Any plans to integrate Adobe fonts into Ceros?
It's actually not something that I have come across. I know there has been actually a few questions about a few different font libraries, so it is something that we are. It is something that we've been evaluating, but I actually don't have visibility of it at the moment. I don't know if Jen or Jason, if it's come up on your radars anymore.
Once in a while.
Yeah,
That's
every
right.
once in a while, but it's not something we've seen frequently.
Okay, well, maybe take it away and add it to the list of considerations. And I would encourage, God, we're almost getting to the end of the session, and I appreciate everybody's patience. But any further questions, guys, please make sure to reach out. But equally, product roadmap, we will share the link to that following this call to all the attendees, so you can go on and see the product roadmap. Top right of the product roadmap, there's an ability to request a feature. So like literally just click it. Doesn't matter, just put in anything, any feature, any issues, any of these problems, reach out. We want to be ultra responsive. We want to give you guys a voice in our roadmap going forward. So yeah, please make sure that you do. Yeah, you take hold of that opportunity to engage.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Hopefully, we've given you guys a good window into what's going on and looking under the hood. And this is really about us setting expectations and being super transparent, and then just creating the channels for feedback. We love it. We're trying to really gear everything towards the vision of where we see content and marketing going, but being really user centric and putting a lot of your insights deeply embedded in the roadmap. So please keep the feedback coming.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.